Hey everybody. The crayfish you're looking at and the little sculpin or darter or whatever that is are new additions. It is now Saturday and I just got back from running down the stream. I didn't bother to make any kind of video out of it. I didn't even really want to go down there at all, but I kind of needed to. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, and my original plan was to check the trap today and then reset it at a different location in the stream so we could go tomorrow and maybe get a few more of these. Oh, he must have found where that other crayfish I put in here yesterday is hiding, because he sure backed up in a hurry. So the idea was that I was going to try to catch some more of these rosy-side dace, this really beautiful fish you see here with the red on it. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I really don't want to have... Man, that Creek Chub is actually going after that crayfish. I never imagined Creek Chubs were so aggressive or got so big. I've seen those Creek Chubs swimming around. That is amazing. I've seen those Creek Chubs swimming around with small minnows in their mouths, and I never knew. I always thought they were just kind of harmless little fish that nibbled on little bugs on the surface, or maybe ate vegetation or sifted through the silt on the bottom or something. I don't know. I certainly never pictured them as aggressively going after crayfish that they couldn't possibly even get in their mouth, but you just saw them try. So that is definitely interesting. That's new behavior I've never seen before. At any rate, we were going to do that today. We were going to go up the stream and, try to catch some of those rosy-side dace. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I really don't want to take the trap out and throw it out there. I don't think we're supposed to get much rain, but you never know. If, we get a lot of rain very quickly and get a little bit of flooding, I don't want to have to, walk downstream trying to find wherever my trap ended up. And, the water will be all cloudy and muddy tomorrow, even if it doesn't. Worst case, it'll be, several days before I'm getting back down there when the water settled back down. So I figured it best just to go empty it tonight, and we could go ahead and, I brought the trap home. It's in the back of the truck now. So give it a few days. Once I know we've got a little stretch of nice weather coming up, we can go down there and get the trap set back out. In the meantime, we can have a little look at the ones I just put in here today. It was much the same as yesterday's haul. I got one little crayfish, although this one's fully intact. The other one had one missing claw, so this one has both claws. And then I had one of those little sculpin fish that we just saw right up here up front. And then there was one Creek Chub in the trap. And I threw the Creek Chub back because, clearly we have plenty of Creek Chubs here in the tank, and they're all really big and plentiful, so on and so forth. Someone did suggest that I get some more of these Notropus species, which are these little smaller ones with the pointier snouts and the really distinct black stripe down the side. I will bring a few more of them home. I don't really have that many in the tank, but knowing what I know now, we're only going to bring them home if they're fairly significant in size, because these Creek Chubs will apparently just make short work of them. You can see how they're all hanging out right here. Ooh. Sitting on the arm of a chair, and when I moved my foot, apparently the arm of the chair is not the place to be sitting. The chair almost toppled over on me. You almost all got a really action video there. What I was going to try to show you is how the fish are all huddled sort of in the shade of underneath of that plant. So hasn't exactly brought them out, and made them more out and about and in the open. They are a little bit more out and swimming around now because I just put something in the tank and I'm sitting right here in front of it, and they're kind of anticipating food. But mostly they just sort of lay low and stay down within the confines of where all the wood is, and you just don't really see a lot of activity in this tank. They do this sort of shoaling behavior, I guess, although this would be called schooling behavior since it's all various fish all sort of grouped together, for the joint purpose of safety in numbers. So on a last thought, I will say that I had a lot of different people make suggestions of what that little fish I put in here was. I, in the past, myself, have called it a banded sculpin. I've called it a mottled sculpin. And some people have suggested it is what is called a Maryland darter. And, excuse me, and then some other people have just simply said it's a darter. Which is why I said I don't know what it is. I've looked at all of those things, and on any given day, I can say, oh, yep, that's it. That's definitely it. And then the next time I look, it's not quite right. And then I see a different one of those, several I just named, and I'm like, that's it. This is definitely it. No question. And, the next time I look a month later, I'm not so sure anymore. And now it's definitely this one. And, so I really don't know what those fish are. I honestly don't. And it's probably going to come down to one of those you'd have to get out a microscope and count the number of scales, or there's some really distinctive feature. It might be something obvious, but I don't know what it is. I just have people randomly tell me, it's definitely this fish, or it's definitely that fish. And while I appreciate the confidence, it doesn't really move me any further forward to knowing what it really is. For as many people tell me it's a darter, I have just as many people, reassure me that it really is a sculpin. So again, I don't know what they are. At any rate, we're going to go ahead and call that the end of this video. I do want to come over here one last moment and get a look at these two. These, I believe, are the white suckerfish. Oh, I just got a glimpse of a crayfish crawling across the back of the tank. See if we can see him through there. There he is. That's the one we just put in. That's the one with 2 claws. So he's definitely cruising around the tank, checking it out. And that's why I've said before that I'm pretty confident there are no more crayfish in the tank. Crayfish are not shy animals. They're out and about. They're very active. If you'll remember my videos from last summer and last fall, we saw crayfish constantly. So once I get my stock built back up, it'll always die back down. It always does. But we'll get some crayfish in there fairly soon, and we'll get enough in there that we get to see some, regular crayfish activity, and we can start shooting my Total Drama Crayfish series again once we got enough, crayfish in there to create some drama. So make sure you're subscribed, and that way you won't miss any of that. Don't forget, this one here is my 125-gallon native tank. Thanks again for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you real soon on the next one.